Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Stukent Expert Session. My name is Trevor Erickson, and today we are excited to have a social selling wizard with us. His name is Gabe Villamizar, and he comes to us from HireVue. He's the social selling trainer and social media marketing manager there at HireVue, and he has over 5 years of experience in the social media marketing and social selling space. Today, Gabe's going to be talking to us and sharing his knowledge about how to optimize our LinkedIn and Twitter profiles. Without any further ado, Gabe, it's all yours.
All right, thank you so much, Trevor. This is very exciting. It's an honor to be here talking to you guys today, morning, night, evening, wherever you guys are at. By way of introduction, Gabe Villamizar. I'm the social media manager and social selling director here at HireVue. HireVue, we do a lot of cool technology stuff with video, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about social media optimization. So how can you optimize your social media presence, both on a personal level and for any organization that you are working for or will be working with, okay? We're gonna specifically focus on Twitter and LinkedIn, and they are exploding. I mean, the last stat that I heard, LinkedIn has over 330 million members, and today is September 2nd. So as of September 2015, that's the most recent stat. And Twitter has a bajillion people. I don't even know the stat. I kept stopped tracking how many active members there are, but there's so many people on there in terms of your buyer, in terms of recruiters, people you can network with, people that companies. Okay, every person, right? Whether you're in college, whether you're just a freshman, junior, senior, sophomore, whatever, it is crucial, and this is going to lay your foundation for success of how well you are recognized and how well you have your social media profiles optimized. Okay, so we're going to cover this, and let's go. This is what I look like, just in case you're wondering. I'm 27 years old, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to go to conferences, and I want to wear a hat backwards because I want to not change who I am. I hate how people sometimes, think millennials are just disrupting the workforce, and they're doing all this crazy stuff. So a lot of people that make fun of me. It's like, why are you wearing a hat backwards at conferences? I just don't care. I am who I am, and once people hear me talk, then they respect me a little bit more. But so what I'm trying to get to, just be who you are, do your thing, just hustle, work really hard, and the rest will take care of itself. So if you want to follow me on Twitter at Gabe Villamizar, and to learn more about these specific topics, I created a course. It's called Embed Social Selling. If you want to go to embedsocialselling.com, you can learn more about social media, social selling, the processes, the tactics, the tricks, all the good stuff. Okay. Some of my background comes from Southwest Airlines. I worked for InsideSales.com, and I do consulting on the side for SaaS software as a service companies. And yeah, it's been great. So let's jump to it. I'm going to show you how this is done. So this is my last slide. I love the what and the why, but there's nothing better than the how you execute. A lot of people can have a ton of good ideas. Ideas won't get you anywhere. Ideas are just thoughts, okay? It's all about execution and how to get the most out of that execution that's going to help you propel your career, and that's going to help your personal brand, or that's going to secure your job, or that's going to build your current profession and kind of get you a promotion or whatever. So what is social selling? My good friend Coca Sexton says that social selling is defined as leveraging your professional brand to fill your pipeline, your sales pipeline, with the right people, insights, and relationships. So if you could use Twitter and LinkedIn to land a job, why not do that? If you could use Twitter and LinkedIn to build your brand, why not do that? If you could use Twitter and LinkedIn to build the Twitter and LinkedIn company page for a company, why not do that, right? I mean, everything's going digital, and it's going to keep going that. We're going through a digital transformation, okay? So let's get to it. Let me start doing a screen share now, and let's talk about what the freak do you optimize on your LinkedIn profile. So number one, you definitely want to have a LinkedIn account. If you don't, you're missing out. LinkedIn's not just your online resume. LinkedIn is your online reputation. Okay, like I said, there's so many professionals on LinkedIn, and don't wait till your senior year. Don't wait till like the end of your college journey to do a LinkedIn, if you're hearing me right now, if you can hear my voice, please get on LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn, great. If you're not logging in to LinkedIn on a daily basis or weekly basis, I hope I shape your thinking and kind of show you the value of what this can do for you. So number one, please get a LinkedIn account. It's free and you don't need to get the paid version. And I'm going to show you how to optimize, because what happens is if you're not optimized, then nobody's going to be able to find you. And the same applies to, let's say, a company page on LinkedIn or a Twitter profile of a company. If you don't have the right keywords, the right specific sets of sentences, then nobody's going to be able to find you. Because, for example, let's just get to it right now. So optimization tip number one. So my name is Gabriel Villamizar. Obviously, I grew up in Venezuela, so Gabriel. So when I moved to America, people were making fun of me, like, "Oh, Gabrielle is a female name or chick," and I'm like, "What the freak?" Then I'm definitely not Gabriel anymore, you know. So I had to go by a different name, and people start calling me Gabe, and I had a little bit of an issue because I used to be a sales guy, and when I hopped on the phone, I would tell people my name is Gabriel, but then when people try to connect with me on LinkedIn, they would type Gabriel, but they couldn't find me. When people type my name on Google, right, my name wasn't there because I was Gabe, and vice versa. So whatever name that you go by and that you want to be known and found for, make sure that name is consistent on every single social media network. That's why it's so important that if your Twitter handle, and we're going to go over it and cover that in a second, but make sure that if your name's Steven, but you go by Steve, and you tell your clients or you tell your professors or you tell everybody that your name's Steve, make sure that that's the name that you want to be known for, number one, that as long as it's professional, and that's the name that you have in every single profile. So then I changed my name on my Twitter, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my Instagram, everything to be as Gabe Villamizar. So that's optimization tip number one. Optimization tip number two is your headline right here, actually your photo. So please don't have an unprofessional photo. I have a specific PowerPoint presentation on crappy photos. Your photos it's gonna, you know, there's this saying, a photo is 1,000 words or something like that, and it's very true. So make sure your photo's professional. Don't have it a very pixelated image. Have one that's current. Have one that looks like you. Don't have it with your spouse or your dog or a celebrity that you took a selfie with. Just have it of your face, and so that when people see you around the halls, or that people or a recruiter is trying to go after you and they see you in real life, they're going to be able to identify you. And same when you're networking, because there's nothing worse that, let's say you go to a networking event and then you find somebody and you're like, "Oh, I'm so and so," and you're like, and they tell you you're connected with them on LinkedIn, and you're like, "Oh," and then you go home and look at that like, "Holy crap, you would have never made that association," because they are so different in real life than their actual picture. So have a picture that's professional, that's the right dimension, and that it's up to date. So that's optimization tip number two. Number three is make sure your headline is full of keywords and it's very highly optimized. So for example, my position, if you scroll down here a little bit, it's called a social media marketing manager. So because I want to be known for and found for those keywords, I want to put it in here, and you can edit those by clicking on the little pencil. But I also want to be known, actually I'm a director, I haven't updated my LinkedIn profile, but I also want to be known for the other words. So what that means is when people search for social selling on Google, I want to be the profile that comes up. When people type social media marketing, I want my LinkedIn profile to come up. If people type social audience, I want my profile to come up. So think very carefully, what are the specific keywords that you want to be known and found for, okay? Or if you work for a company, what are the keywords that that company wants to rank for both on Google and on LinkedIn, okay? Because whenever people search on LinkedIn, Google's going to serve them the most relevant type of results that's associated to that set of keywords or that set of words. And if you could rank for specific words, there's a lot of power of being on the first 5 pages of Google, I'd say. You get a lot of traffic, you get a lot of recognition, you might get recruited more, you're going to get more business, etc. So do an analysis of what are the keywords that you want to be known for. So if you're a student, if you're in graphic design, you might want to include those keywords, right? If you're into photography, If you're into journalists, it's study and read some of those blogs and see what are the keywords that you want to be known and found for. So that's number 3. So let's recap. Number 1 is your name. Make sure your name's consistent. Number 2 is your image. Make sure this image is up to date and nice and clean. Number 3 is your title. Just don't have it be just a set of words. Make keyword optimized. Number 4 is your location and industry. So for example, I live in Orem, Provo, or Provo, Utah. Nobody knows what the freak that is. No, people who are in Utah or think of Utah, they immediately think of Salt Lake City. So you definitely want to put the city or the capital or the most popular city in your area, as long as you're close to that area. Obviously, you don't want to lie, because this is going to give you more exposure, because people know what Salt Lake, at least for me, people know what Salt Lake City is versus a little town in the middle of nowhere, right? And make sure your industry is up to date. So here at HireVue, we build computer software, software for companies. So make sure this is up to date. The next thing is going to be your contact info. This is by far, I teach this to a lot of people on a worldwide basis, either face-to-face or online. And this is by far the most underutilized and least complete section on LinkedIn. This right here, and I'll go over this real quick. And a lot of you may say, well, I don't want to have all this information out there, my privacy, my whatever. All I'm telling you, these are suggestions if you want to rank high, if you want to have a complete profile, because it's really a game of who has the most complete profile, because in the end, you're doing Google a favor. If you can communicate to Google certain type of actions and keywords, then you're doing Google a favor, and in return, as a reward, it's going to rank you very high. And the same, and LinkedIn works the same way. Here on the search engine, when people type, for example, social media, right? And if I were to do the search, how does it determine who's going to show up in that result? Well, whoever has the most complete profile, and whoever has the most optimized, whoever has the most connections and things of that nature. So that's why it's important to complete this contact info of your profile. Let me get a drink 1 second. So what I'm saying here is, make sure you have your telephone number, your address. If you don't want to put your personal address, then put your work address. Make sure you connect your Twitter profile. A lot of you may say, well, Gabe, I'm not on Twitter. I'm only on Instagram, or I'm only on Snapchat, or I'm on YitGet, or whatever it is. Well, make sure that you have a Twitter profile, even though you're not going to be highly active, because what happens is Twitter and LinkedIn, in the eyes of Google, they have a high PR, meaning page rank. There's a ton of valuable search engine optimization, or SEO, in Twitter and LinkedIn. So if you do link building, meaning if you identify right here, and I'm telling LinkedIn and Google, by the way, this is my Twitter profile right here at Gabe Villamizar, and this is the company that I manage. You want to make sure you include them on here. So the way you do that, click on the little pencil. It's going to ask you to sign in one more time, and then you add them right here. Okay. Let's go back to my profile. So it's really crucial that you complete your contact info. Just don't leave it blank. Okay, so the I am right here, it's instant message. I haven't seen any value in completing this. That's why it's blank. So let's recap again. Make sure you have your work email. If you're not working for a company right now, then you put your personal email, put your phone number, put your work address, or if you're not working right now, then put. I wouldn't recommend putting your personal address, so maybe leave this one blank, or add your Twitter profile, add the company's profile if you're managing that. WeChat is a service that took off like a blast in Asia. I'm testing this out to see how much important this is, because a lot of these things, I love to test a lot of things. Everything I'm showing you right now is because I've tested it myself, and it's not just that I think it works, I know it works. So I'm seeing how much importance and how much relevant is this going to give me on LinkedIn completedness. So, and the websites is very crucial. LinkedIn allows you to put 3 types of websites. Okay, and what I recommend is that you put either your personal website. If you don't have your first name and last name.com, so for example, my name is Gabe Villamizar, as I've already told you, make sure that, actually, you might want to stop right now. Number 1, do an incognito window. If you're using Google Chrome, on the top right, where there's three little lines, click on New Incognito Window. And what's the first thing that comes up when you type your name? Okay, so incognito window, what that means, it's a non-biased search result that's not taking my consideration, it's not taking my location in consideration and any other searches that I've done in the past. So it's very non-biased. So if you go to Google and type your first and last name, what results come up? So if your name is John Smith, put John Smith, and there's going to be a million John Smiths, right? You might be in bad luck, but that's not the point. The point is what comes up when you put your first and last name. And if you're not ranking in any of these, then there's room for improvement. So 6 months ago to a year, if I were to put Gabe Villamizar, there used to be this magician out of Colombia. I'm not sure what kind of magician he was, but recruiters would always, believe it or not, recruiters, when you apply for jobs, they always Google you and they search for you on Twitter and on LinkedIn. That's just literally the norm. Like all recruiters do that nowadays. And one of the recruiters was trying to do some small talk with me, and he's like, dude, are you a magician on the side? Because I saw that you did a magic show over the weekend. And I'm like, no, dude, that's not me. What are you talking about? He's like, no, I Googled you and I found you. So ever since that recruiter told me that, I'm like, I am going to pwn that other Gabe Villamizar, and I want to literally own every single result, search engine result that has to do with my name with Gabe Villamizar. So since that day, a year ago or 2 years ago, I went on a mission to do that. And as you can see here, every single search result now is me on it. And as you can see here, the first one's LinkedIn. So there's a ton of value in what I'm teaching you right now, because you can do this very easily. And the second search result is Twitter. So that's why it's very important that you optimize your LinkedIn profile. And not only you come across professional on your network and people perceive you as a thought leader or professional, that's going to help you get a job easier. It's going to help you network and grow your brand faster. It's going to help you rank on Google. And there's a ton more value that it's going to help you sell more if you're in a sales position. So what I'm trying to get to here is make sure that in the websites, if you have if you don't have a personal domain, a website or a blog, I highly recommend you go to GoDaddy.com or Bluehost and buy a domain. Actually, not Bluehost, GoDaddy.com, and buy a domain that is your website. At least you secure the URL if you're not going to build it, and put it in here. So what I'm saying here is, I work for HireVue, and I want to put, you can kind of toggle these little settings right here. Now I could easily put company website, because this is the HireVue demo landing page, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is click on other, and other lets me put a keyword right here. So I want to put HireVue demo. So when the Google crawler crawls this, so the Google crawler is this bot, right, that crawls everything that's online from the very top to the right and down. So when the Google crawler crawls this, it's going to crawl, okay, Gabe Villamizar's profile has a website that says HireVue demo, and next to that is the hirevue.com/live demo. So what I'm trying to communicate to Google is that this website is relevant to me, and it also has to do with a HireVue demo. So what's cool about this is you can tweak and add more SEO juice to your LinkedIn profile. So if you want to associate yourself with your company, you can do that. If you want to associate yourself to your website, it has tons of value as well. If you want to associate yourself to the university you go to, you can do that. And there's a ton of value in customizing these three websites that you can do here. So I recommend doing one that has to do with your company, one that has to do maybe with your blog, or one that has to do with your personal website. So this is my course. This actually, I have to update this one. This one's called Embed Social Selling, embedsocialselling.com. So I want to put here Embed Social Selling. Okay, so that's that. And then the last thing in the contact info, it's going to be this section right here, your LinkedIn URL. By default, LinkedIn gives you a random URL that looks fugly. It looks freaking ugly. What that means is it's going to be linkedin.com/in/ and a bunch of numbers and characters. So it'll be like 32Z1G F6. So that So what does that mean? That means nothing. So you want to communicate to Google, right, that you are not a bunch of random characters, that you are a specific person with a first name and last name. So what you do, click on this little gear icon, and it's going to shoot you over here in this new window. In this new window, click on the little pen, and then on this little pen right here, what you want to do is put your first name and last name. Okay, if your first and last name is taken, then you are in trouble. Just kidding, you're not. Try then your last name and first name. If your last name and first name is taken, then maybe go for first name, middle initial, last name. If that's also taken, then do last name, middle initial, first name. If you're a John Smith, good luck. That's going to be super hard. But again, the chances of somebody having your first, middle, and last name are a lot lower. Whatever you do, try to stay away from numbers and try to stay away from, you can't do any characters or spaces or symbols. But whatever you do, try to have it be your first and last name somewhere in the URL. So that way you communicate to Google and it looks cleaner that you are the person who you're saying you are. Okay, let me go back here. So again, that's your contact info. Tons of SEO, search engine optimization juice right here, and you're going to rank higher for keywords and the websites that you specified. Okay, moving on here. Actually, one thing before I move on. While you do these website changes, these LinkedIn profile changes, you want to make sure that this setting right here, notify your network, this is turned off, meaning mine is off right now. So it says, no, do not publish any update to my network about my profile changes. What happens is, if this is turned on like this, then all those changes that you just made to your LinkedIn profile, what's going to happen is it's going to blast everybody that you're connected with on their newsfeed. And you're going to come across super spammy. People are going to hate you, unfriend you, block you, whatever. So you want to make sure that before you make any of these changes, hopefully you haven't made them already, you click on no, I don't want to display any changes that I make. And you always want to leave this off unless you make a job change. When you make a job change, you want to kind of tell the whole world, like, check it out, I have a new job, and LinkedIn will automatically do that. So, but that's another training. Moving on here. So we keep moving on, and another great thing that you should take advantage of is your LinkedIn publishing platform. LinkedIn has allowed you to do blog posts on their platform, and every single time you do a blog, all your connections get notified on their smartphone, their tablet, their desktop. So it's pretty cool because if, let's say you have a blog, the downside to the blog, there's not really downsides to having a blog, but whenever you have a blog on a different entity, online real estate or a website or whatever, is you have to write the article, which you have to do here on LinkedIn as well, but then you have to drive traffic from the internet to your blog to see your article. And that sometimes is a little bit time consuming. Sometimes you may not know how to do that. What's cool about LinkedIn is as you write the article here, all your connections are going to get notified. So LinkedIn kind of does the marketing for you. So then you get a lot more views and connections and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. This is fairly new. I think this launched last year. Before moving on, because I also want to cover Twitter and other LinkedIn company pages stuff, you want to make sure you have a summary, you have rich media types. Don't make your LinkedIn profile just really, really boring like a resume. Resume is just a bunch of characters and bullet points. Make it very visual, make it very pleasing to the eye. So the way you do that is that you can add specific rich media types. You can add either videos, you can add PDFs, you can add slide shares, PowerPoint presentations, and it makes it more pleasing, and it's more like a collection of things that you're proud to show to your viewer that comes to your LinkedIn profile. So as you can see here, the way you add them, if you go to a specific position, you click on the little plus box, and you can add them right here, either put the URL or upload a file. So again, it makes it very pleasing to the eye and it makes it more interactive and less boring. And also, as you fill out your LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure you quantify as much as you can, right, about the things that you've done, whether where you worked at or where you're currently working. Instead of being qualitative data, have quantitative data that kind of talks a lot about what you did, what value you brought to the organizations, and things of that business, things of that matter. So complete your profile, right? Add the positions, the companies that you work for, and be sharing content on a weekly basis. Okay, so hopefully I'm not getting you too dizzy here. One last thing before I move on to how to optimize your LinkedIn company page. You want to make sure you have a header right here that's related to something that you like or that you're interested in or the company you work for. The way you do that, you click on Edit Background, and you can use one of the headers that LinkedIn has, or you can upload specific image that you like. So as you can see here, this is a HireVue image. Everyone has a story to tell. Learn more at hirevue.com, and that's that. So because I am the social media manager here at HireVue, I manage the HireVue LinkedIn company page. And the same tips that I just told you apply to a LinkedIn company page. What you do is make sure you have a summary, again, a set of keywords and paragraphs that explain what the organization does. Again, you see, you want to be want to have quantitative data about what the business does, and you want to complete it as much as you can. The more data you give to Google and LinkedIn, the higher you're going to rank, and the more exposure you're going to get on the internet. Make sure the page has a call to action. It kind of shows what your company does. And then another good thing to do is you can actually share content about your company. As you can see here, as I'm scrolling down, we can see how many impressions, clicks, interactions, and engagement each of the posts that we do get. And it's very cool because our followers get to engage with this type of content, and we can do a lot of testing and things like this. So this one got 5,000 impressions, 46 link clicks, 16 interactions, and 1.20% of engagement. Now, there's a rule that I like to call it, is the rule, 80% of the things you post, don't talk about, don't make it be about your company. Make it be about industry-related topics, about breaking news and things like that. And then the 20% of the posts you do, you can have them be about your company. Because people don't go to social media, people don't go to LinkedIn or Twitter to just be sold to. People don't want to just read a bunch of stuff about your product 24/7. People go to social media to learn, to chat with people, to stay up to date. So if you do that, you have higher probabilities of people reading your content and sharing your stuff. And the same way you would share here content about the specific industry of the company you work with, the same applies to your LinkedIn profile. I highly recommend that you share on a daily basis, and yes, I said daily basis, share updates about what you're interested about, things that you care about, things that you would like to be known for, etc. Because the more you share, the more exposure you get, and the better the type of network that you're going to attract, and you're going to grow your network, and you're going to build your personal brand and things of that nature. So I know I just went really fast on LinkedIn optimization, but that is a brief overview on LinkedIn optimization and the importance of that. So let me go back to Twitter. So on Twitter, it's very simple. It's going to take me like 2 minutes to explain this really. But what it does, it's the same. I want it to be pretty consistent to my LinkedIn profile. So you want your Twitter handle. I already told you about the image. You want your image to be consistent, and I highly recommend it's the same image on every single profile that you care about. So that way, people are able to recognize you from far, or on a search engine, or when they search for you. Okay. Make sure that your Twitter handle, it is the same one as your first and last name. Some dude came up to me. His Twitter handle was Nimrod82. And I'm like, dude, do you really want to be known as a Nimrod82 online? And when you tell people, and when people search for Nimrod, do you want your face to come up? Well, probably not. And I'm like, that's right. So, whether you're in the professional world or wherever you are, make sure you secure your first and last name. If that's taken, do the same tactic and strategy that I showed you for your LinkedIn URL. Try last name, first name. You can only do so many characters on this, but again, have it be about your first and last name, and you're going to rank very high. You're going to be known and be found. People are going to be able to find you a lot easier. The next thing is going to be your Twitter bio right here. This is very, very, very important. So I, again, put my title here. I want to rank for these words. And then I put the company that I work for. And make sure you don't just put the company's name, but you tag the company with the @ handle, because again, this is link building. So I'm associating myself with this company. If I click on this, it takes me to the HireVue Twitter profile. Going back, again, so I would put my position and the Twitter handle that I work with, and then I recommend putting 2 to 3 hashtags that you want to associate yourself with. So I put social selling, Venezolano, and Mormon, meaning I associate myself with these 3 things. Hashtags are just like categories. So if I were to click on this hashtag right here, it takes me and shows me every single person that's tweeting about the hashtag social selling. So these are people that I might want to interact with, okay? And it shows me this person tweeted about social selling 5 minutes ago. This other person did it 8 minutes ago, and so on. So again, make sure you add 2 to 3 hashtags. If you add too many, then you come across spammy. It's like those Instagram posts that you see that people put like 20 hashtags. You're like, dude, could you put more hashtags in your Instagram posts or your tweets? It looks very, very rookie, and it's a new mistake, stuff like that. Make sure you can also add another website here, and it's hyperlinked automatically. That's optional, but for sure make your title, tag the company, and add 2 to 3 hashtags. Then the other thing is you want to put, again, the city where you live in, or the most common city, the more well-known city where you're closest to. And then again, you want to make sure you link your LinkedIn profile. Remember, on my LinkedIn profile, I linked in the contact info to my Twitter profile. So again, this is link building 101. I'm telling LinkedIn that this is my Twitter profile, and I'm telling Twitter that this is my LinkedIn profile. So that helps Google say, okay, this Twitter account and this LinkedIn are related because there's link building. They have the first name and last name the same. They have the same keywords. They're whatever analysis they do, it's going to take care of that. And that is it pretty much. Again, I highly recommend you tweet on a daily basis. Don't be too spammy. If you want to learn more about that and other courses of this nature, again, embedsocialselling.com. I'm going to be launching this pretty soon. So that's the LinkedIn and Twitter optimization. Let me see here. Let's go over some questions that actually, before we move on to some questions. So what does the whole process look like, right? It shows you right here. Let me go presentation mode. So what you do, what I just showed you was the optimization. After you optimize, whether you're gonna sell something online, or you're trying to find a job online, or you work for a company and you're doing this, you want to research your buyer, research the recruiters, research jobs. After researching and identifying what you want to accomplish, then you want to engage with those type of people. And you want to take those relationships while engaging with people offline. That's the best way to strengthen relationships and to actually land jobs that way. Because if the whole relationship is online, then it's not going to build as fast as its potential. So that's why I highly recommend you take a conversation offline, meaning over the phone, or meet in person with the person you're trying to get a hold of. So this is like I came up with this whole strategy of the social media and social selling process of how to get the most out of social media, and you would follow these 4 steps. So that's that, and let me see if we have any questions here. 1 second. When should I upgrade my LinkedIn account to a paid version? That's a great question. So if you are going to be looking for a job hardcore, meaning first of all, this is a great question. I hate it when people were about to graduate and they're like, oh, now I have to take my LinkedIn profile pretty serious. Now I get to look for a job. Way before you graduate, meaning 6 months or more, actually at least a year before you graduate, like hop on the LinkedIn, clean up your LinkedIn, connect with people, build your network, so that way you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of your competition, everybody else who's graduating with you. I highly recommend that, and you're going to be above your competition. So that's that. Now, if you're going to go and if you really want to take this serious into a whole nother level, I recommend, and you're trying to find a job, I highly recommend you get the LinkedIn recruiting. Let me go here. It's called the job hunting license or something like that. The job uh, explorer. I forget what it's called. But the first month I think it's free, and after that it's $50 per month. And it's very, very pricey, but the way you look at it is like this. Is $50 going to help me land a job? If the answer is yes, then don't see it as a cost. Okay, see it as a platform that's going to enable you to land $50,000 per year or $60,000 per year, whatever job you land, which I'm really confident that if you use it, because I've done it and I've landed all my jobs through LinkedIn. Don't see it as a cost, and it shouldn't take you more than a month, sometimes maybe 2 months to find a really good job on LinkedIn or to build. So that's if you're trying to find a job. I highly recommend you upgrade it to a paid LinkedIn account. Now, if you're selling, I highly recommend you use the LinkedIn Sales Navigator paid version, because if I were to do a search right here and I would put VP of Sales, what happens is it showed me 12,000 people, and you're like, well, that's bullcrap. How is it that there's only 12,000 people who has the keyword VPs of Sales? Well, that's because LinkedIn's limiting the data that I'm able to see in the free account. If I were to get the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, then it's gonna show me like 1 million people. So the paid version, if you're a sales guy or if you want to have access to more data, you get the paid version, which is again between 50 to 70 bucks per month. So those are the two instances. If you're looking for a job, I recommend it. Pay for it for at least 2 months. If you're in sales, I recommend it because it's going to help you close more deals faster. So if you're in sales, recommend it all the way. As long as you're in sales, use it. It pays off. It accelerates the whole sales process. So that's how I would answer that. Number two, is there an easy way to find like-minded people on Twitter or LinkedIn that would be important for me to follow or connect with? It's a great question. So the best way to do that is let's start on LinkedIn. If you want to find like-minded professionals, then there's a few things you could do that. If you go to education, there's an university finder. It's going to show you people who have gone to your university or universities in your neighborhood or your town or your city that you can connect with. So for example, you can search for that here. Now, if you know what university you went to, then for example, if I want to put Utah Valley University. Okay, so that's the university right here. Then what you can see here is that you can see students and alumni, and it shows you here the people who that are in your network that you're not connected with, who are part of that alumni or current students. So I recommend connecting with people in your university, and so you can look at people in your university. You can also look at groups. It's called LinkedIn groups. So I can say social media. Right here on the left, there's a little toggle where it says groups. So I'm searching for social media groups, and it shows me the groups that they have that have the keyword social media. So this one tells me it has almost 1 million members are in this group. And if you want to see similar groups, you click on this right here. You can keep going down and you see all these groups. And what's cool about these groups, let's just click on, let's see this one. You can see what type of people are posting. You can interact with them, you can connect with them, and you can even see what they're like, or what kind of content they're posting. So if I like what Jody Lee's saying, I would click on his profile and I would connect with him and say, hey, another thing you want to do, no matter what you do, always customize your LinkedIn profile invite. You never want to have it make just the default. I like to add you to my professional LinkedIn network. First of all, Jody doesn't know who I am, how I found him, so I come across like a stalker that doesn't know him. So you might want to say, hey Jody, notice that you were posting something, XYZ article in the social media group, really enjoyed it, would like to connect with you to expand my network. Bam. So that's on LinkedIn. On Twitter, what I like to do is if you click on hashtags, on specific hashtags, you can follow people who are using that hashtag. So I click on this and it shows me who has the word hashtag, so the hashtag social selling in their Twitter bio. So you might want to follow these people, and that's a good one to start, connecting with like-minded people on Twitter. So that's why it's important to use hashtags to associate yourself to that category and for people to enable to find you a lot easier as well. So those are the two ways that you can connect with like-minded people. And it's all about your network. So there's a saying that says that your network is your net worth. And I'm a huge believer of that. I mean, I graduated, 2 years ago? And I'm already speaking at a LinkedIn conference in like next month. I'm doing webinars. I've done so much. And I never would have thought that after I graduated, I would be where I am today in such a short period of time. But I highly attribute it and tie it back to my association with LinkedIn and Twitter and how serious I took the responsibility of building my network, interacting with people, engaging, and really trying to connect and try to help other people in my network. And the rest was history. So try to educate as much as you can, and that's a really great way to connect with other people. Yeah, I could talk about this all day, but I think I'm running out of time. So thank you so much for joining me here. Again, if you have any other questions, you can find me on LinkedIn at Gabe Villamizar. And if you want to learn more about this, then you can find embedsocialselling.com. That's it. Thanks for joining, guys, and have a good one.